Hello everybody. Today I have an interview with a special guest. It's my first interview in English and in Norway, but I decided to do this time with this person because I think it's a bit mystical person in my life, and I want to introduce you to Suleymanon Malиком. Hello Sулейман.
Thank you, Bill.
And I would like you to feel like you're with us now and participate in our conversation. And we are starting. So hello Suleyman.
Well,
I'm so happy to see you.
thank you for inviting me to this interview and your first interview in English, and
Yeah.
same with me, It's gonna be interesting.
It's kind of our initiation.
Uh-huh.
Suleyman, I would like you to talk about yourself. It's not about how you interpret yourself from your mind, but how you feel yourself. Because you're a yoga teacher, you practice a lot, and you will tell this to our people, who listens to us.
Mm-hmm.
But how you feel yourself as a human being, how you feel your mission in life, and how did you come to that point?
Mm-hmm. No, it's quite interesting because already since I was a small child, people ask me like, where are you from? Because I'm born here in Norway, but my parents are from Pakistan. And they already asked me like as a small child, like, where are you from? And I was like, from Earth. And they were like, no, but where are you really from? I was like, I'm from Earth, the same Earth as you. And they're like, no, but you have a nationality. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, my parents are from Pakistan and my grandparents are from Pakistan, but I'm from Earth.
How old were you?
I think already like when I was like 3-4 years old, I was already talking that language somehow, because I didn't see any difference between you and me, because skin color doesn't say anything, And so I can say that the journey already started there, already early, that I tried to find out what are the world trying to talk about, that this is something different between you and me, and because we are from the different country, it means maybe our perception is different about the same thing, and so I always wondered about this deeper question since I was a child. But when you're a child, the grown-ups always say, you ask questions, they go like, don't think about that.
Did your parents support you?
A lot, because my mother is one of my greatest teachers, for let's call it the spiritual journey.
Really?
Since I was a small child, she always been learning me a lot of good stuff I'm already using and learning and sharing with other people. And so it was interesting. Like, I started with so deep connection with the spirituality, but then we grow up, and we go maybe let's call it the wrong way.
Yeah.
We want to go party, we want to explore life, we want to get to know
Try
life.
things.
Yeah, try things,
Yeah.
And then maybe you forget, because the society we're living in is really easy to forget who you are, or maybe don't even know who we are, because society is living in a way that we forget. Like, we just forget that we maybe have a deeper purpose in life. And since I was a child, I was creating this calling all the time, but I was busy about exploring life and just
All of us were busy.
Yeah. And then maybe sometimes you remember, and you go like, what is this stuff? And maybe you respond to this calling, maybe you don't do. But the calling has always been there since we were born, The calling about asking the right question, like,
who you are.
Who are you? Yeah, just and when you try to question that, answer that question, you get this. You have nothing to say almost, Because in the beginning you're like, who are you? Okay, you say your name and you say your job, especially your job.
How old are you?
Yeah, like you think like your whole personality is about your job.
Yes.
Like, I meet you today and you say like, hello, what's your name? And like, who are you? And I go like, my name is this and I'm this old and I have this job.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell anything about me. Nothing about me.
Where are you here in this answer?
Like, if you ask me like, who are you? And I go like, I don't know. I go like, really, I don't know, because how the universe works and how we works is changing all the time. Continuously changing all the time, and you are changing all the time, even if you don't admit to yourself, you are changing all the time. Like, people say to me, like, when you get older, then it's going downwards. But I feel the other way. I feel like more older I get, more I get to know myself in some ways. I can describe with words, and some things I can't describe with words yet.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I try to express myself through, let's say, music, let's say art, let's say different type, let's say yoga. So it's so many things we have to just express without words.
Suleiman, when I came first time to a class, I didn't know anyone in Norway, and I was alone. I didn't have friends, and I was feeling very alone, you know. And I came to yoga because it was making me complete without having so much outside life. I came to myself, to inside of my heart. And when I felt your flow, your energy, your aura, I felt something that makes me feel, and people around you, calm. And it's always fully booked at your classes. It means something that you do something. What are you doing with people? How did you get to that point where first time you understand that it's your place?
It's quite interesting, you know, because the journey with the yoga started because of I had a journey in the army as a professional soldier, and that's the quite opposite of yoga, you know. And from that journey I had to find something that could make my mind quiet again. And because I didn't have any rest in the body, I couldn't find rest at all. And then a friend of mine fortunately told me that you should try yoga, because the thing you're working with now, with the shamanic practices and the energetical work, you should have a practice with your body also, so you can heal your body, so you can get much deeper in your practice with everything else in life. And then I tried yoga, you know, and I was so happy. For the first session I was at yoga with my first teacher, John Bentham, here in Oslo, because I had a pain in my back. I was getting to a lot of doctors to get fix it, a lot of professional doctors, but they said like, no, this is nothing you can fix. You just have to live with it, and this is how life is. And I'm like, wow, okay. But then I tried yoga for the first time, and after the first session, you know, my back pain was gone. And you know, when you are going around with pain for 3-4 years,
for lives,
and then you go to one yoga class and this pain is gone, then you start wondering what more can I fix. And this calling was in the beginning not so strong about yoga. It was more just curiosity. I just wanted to check out what is this stuff, because it always makes me feel so great afterwards. And it just led me deeper to study with different teachers, and my first teacher took really good care of me, and he was more like a brother actually, because I had a lot of teachers in my life, and you know, you have this relationship with teachers. But this guy, you know, John Bantam, he was just a great brother, you know. He was just taking care of you and almost reading your mind while he was holding his sessions, you know, with this Tibetan Buddhism mindfulness meditations. And his classes was just about inhaling love and exhaling love. It's nothing more than that, because we are doing a lot of advanced yoga now, you know, it's the physical practice, but we are not going so much inside. And I feel the thing maybe you notice in my class is actually my first teacher you are noticing. Of course, is some part of me you are noticing, but the teaching is from my first teacher, because his classes was all about maybe 5 postures, the whole class, but each inhalation he was saying, inhale love, exhale love, inhale love, exhale pain, inhale love, exhale love, all the time. And so every inhalation for the 60 minutes was love and pain, love
So
and
3
pain.
years I'm practicing your yoga. I even don't know what you're talking about in Norwegian, and finally I got to
Yeah,
say inhale,
yeah.
peace, and exhale.
Mm.
It's good to know.
So that's the thing, you know, and that was my first journey with the yoga, and I'm still continue practicing the first thing you learned us. Of course, I'm still a human being. I do stuff that maybe not are so loving, but I try to observe them, why I'm doing this stuff, you know. So the teaching from him is still continuing with my practice, and I'm so grateful that I met him as my first teacher. So
When was it?
it was almost like 9 years ago, I think now, 9 years. So it's been a long journey. In the beginning I was doubting myself a lot about maybe this yoga thing is nothing for me, this will just fade away, I will never become a teacher.
How many years you were teaching yoga?
Now I've been teaching for 5-6 years actually.
But you have great success in this.
I feel now in the end, like the couple of 3-4 years, because this practice and just made me believe in myself and start doubting yourself. And if you really love it, like if you really sense you're loving this, then you have to just really go for it all the time. And in the beginning, you know, my past was hunting me to go deeper into this practice. You know, you have been working in the army. I'm a guy, you know, masculine. You like as a guy, we shouldn't do yoga because it's more for women. And what are you doing? You're gonna make a living. You're gonna make enough money of this and stuff like that. And I was almost getting crazy because I was feeling I love this.
Pressure in your mind.
Yeah, but why all this doubting about why you're gonna do this or not?
If you just want it.
Yeah. You know,
if it's just what your body tells you to do.
But I've also felt, and after a while I found out why these challenges is coming up in my mind, and was because of this is not a work there you can just go to work and do something, you know, automatically, you don't have to think. This is a work there, it will transform you every day that when you work with this, and they also will help others to transform themselves. And you have somehow a responsibility about the people that are coming to your classes. It's not that you can just go up on the stage and just say, you have to care for the class, you know. You have to see everyone, you know, everyone in the class, you have to see them. Not maybe as the identity they have, but as the soul, you know. This is a soul standing in front of me, and we're gonna do a yoga class together, and you have to see that. And I feel when you see that, even if you don't understand the word that I'm saying, you will sense the energy, because words are not enough, you know. And but we both have feelings, we both have love, we both have soul. And if we just recognize the soul in each other, we will just connect. Even if we don't say anything to each other, even if we don't say hello, our soul will say hello to each other, like, oh, is this you? Okay, hello. And I feel this is one of the teachings my mother told me, like in the beginning. Like even if you are poor, rich, even if you are different color skin, if you are different religion, even if you are better or worse, even if I hate you, you know, that she told, you still have to respect the other being, because the other being have a soul inside, and that soul is from God. So everything, the good and the bad, is from God. And that blew my mind, you know. As a kid, you know, you're like, but what? The both things are from God, you know. And I try to balance that, you know. I'm still thinking about that.
Especially when something dark is coming from you.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that, because you know, it's very nice what you're talking about. But what do you do with yourself when you have this darkness? When you have that anger coming out? I'm sure we are all human beings. We have good and bad sides, and all are the faces of the God. But what if these faces you don't like, you don't despise, you look at yourself and say, okay, this guy today I don't love. He is angry, he is aggressive, he is complaining, he feels guilt. What do you do with that face of God?
You know, even if I teach yoga and teach that you have to live compassion, but I also meet challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I started yoga, my yoga journey, I was struggling with anger, a lot of anger. Just think about that, I'm working in the army, training about this and that all the time, and now I recognize how much pain is in this world, and I start, you know, getting angry. I never was angry, you know, always a happy kid, a happy person, and suddenly I was so angry about persons, about the condition of the world, about the mental state of each one of us, and I was getting so angry, and I was getting so angry that I was just destroying my own life somehow, you know, with this anger.
It eats you from inside.
It is just me saying that I don't love myself, or I don't love this state I'm in, but I didn't know how to work with it. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel when I have my dark times now I'm getting to know myself much better than before. I try to go into my practice, different practices, and sometimes not always yoga works. Then I try another practice, and you know, it's everything from taking care of yourself, finding out maybe you have to do more meditation, maybe you have to go to the yoga class and do your practice. Maybe you just have to go to the forest and take a walk and just breathe. Maybe you have to talk with someone, you know. Sometimes you also, like as a teacher, you have to go to find somebody to talk to that can actually advise you with something you don't know. Because that's one of the things as a teacher also I feel, we fall into this trap that we think we know everything now, you know. And when we have these dark times, we realize, oh shit, I don't actually know. Now I need help. And that's the thing I feel, we have to also know how to reach out for help. And that was my best thing I could do in my dark times in the beginning, was to reach out for help. And my first teacher helped me a lot with those things. Like in my darkest hours, I called him so many times, you know, and he came, or he advised me.
Yes, because our ego doesn't like when we cannot handle with ourselves, you know, but to ask for the help is very important. And later I would ask you to show us some practical sound healing meditation, okay? So stay with us. It would be very interesting, because you did it very good.
Thank you. So that was also one of the journeys I have to go deeper into, to find out what I really want to do and what I need to find to express more of what is inside of me. And that journey was quite scary for me, you know. Suddenly I wanted to play instruments, and I couldn't even, you know, just touch a drum before. I couldn't hold a rhythm before. And like in the beginning I was like, no, I can't do this, you know. And then, okay, you have to become more successful yoga teacher, or you have to go deeper with the practice. That's also scary. That's super scary, because now I have to show who I really am.
In different direction, because we are huge. And sometimes we focus on one thing and we think this is the end of us, of our potential. But if our soul wants to go further, then we need to leave our body to go. Yeah,
that's the offering. That's the offering we have to do to really become what's inside of you. You know, you have to get the offering of who you are, like the identity that you have been, this mask you've been painting all the time, you know. And then the journey starts, and the beginning of the journey, the whole key. You can't enter this door before you leave this mask and then do the offering of, okay, I will start in the beginning and again. I'm gonna rediscover, reinvent everything I learned and everything about myself. and then you find every lie, you know.
I respond for what you talk just now, and I want to ask you, what if you feel lost? What if people feel lost?
A teacher of mine says a really funny thing to me. I met him and I asked him like, "Oh teacher, I feel so lost, can you help me?" And he looked at me like, "Okay, look up." And I looked up, and "Do you see the sky?" I said like, "Yes." And like, "Look down, do you see the earth?" I was like, "Yes." And then he said like, "Look at me, do you see me?" I was like, "Yes." "Do you feel, are you in between the sky and the earth?" I was like, "Yes." "Then you're never lost." And I like, and I have to think for a second before I like, oh, you're in between, you're never lost.
Mm-hmm.
You are exactly where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, this small story he went through, and like I felt like connected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, this is logic.
Mm-hmm.
I have this earth, I have this sky, I'm between. And like, why are you feeling lost? Like, because I'm the person saying I'm lost.
Mm-hmm.
What are you lost in? Where are you lost? Because sometimes it's really good to be lost,
Yeah.
to find something, to really explore. Because in this world we want to have control all the time. Even if in this journey, you know, we want to control everything, even the future. We want to control, but we can't.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing here, you know, maybe where you are lost is maybe part of your journey. So see if you can just calm down.
Yeah.
Like we are talking about in this talk,
Mm-hmm.
why calm down? Why find this calmness in yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I feel this calmness will also maybe give you understanding. So when you feel lost, calm down.
Sулейман, you work with people and you have private sessions, yeah? Not only yoga, but what problems the most popular, let's say it, people bring with themselves?
To a yoga class is, you know, most of it is they don't find rest. They don't know how to calm down, and they maybe also don't know how to find out what's maybe wrong. You know, they say, "Oh, my shoulders are stiff," or my stomach is hurting, or I feel some deep blockage in this chest area, and you know, and I feel I never can find some sense in what I'm feeling right now. So these things comes up, and you know, and the most people maybe don't know, or maybe they know, but they forget that a lot of these things you are experiencing in your body is because of your mental state.
Suleyman, you have a lot of people in front of you all the time, and you work with people, and you exist in front of people in the world. So, and people probably share with you their problems, not only at work. I think you're so open person, so people want to share some things with you. What is the most popular problems with people? And let's say problem and solution, as you see it.
Normally it's most about, you know, relationships, about love, you know, in different ways. Not only about like a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, or wife or husband, but different relationships.
Emotional
relationships to yourself and others. And a lot of these things, these emotional things, are now getting stuck in the body, and they start noticing it. Let's say some people, you feel, they say, "I have this pain in my shoulder. I always walk like this. I don't want to walk like this." Then I sometimes ask them, "How do you treat yourself? How is your self-esteem?" And they go, "No, I have low self-esteem." And they don't understand, maybe you're getting lower self-esteem if you are walking like this. Or you maybe have some traumatic experience in your life. Let's say you have a breakup in a relationship, and this is making your chest hurt. Or maybe you forget it, and after a while when you do yoga, you find out, "Oh, I have this pain here. What is this pain?" they maybe ask me, what is this pain? And maybe sometimes yes is maybe some injury, and but a lot of the times this tensions in the body is something mentally you are processing with your emotions or your thoughts. So most of the time people come with me or question about how they can love themselves more. How is, the how is so big. Yes, I like to say to people, now you have to discover, you have to go on this journey and discover how can I make myself feel better, and what do I need to do. And I say to people, start by just treating yourself with the same love you give a small child that are still starting to walk, just taking the first steps. And you see the child is trying and you go like, wow, and you see the child falls down, boom. Then you don't go like, oh, are you stupid? You should just take the other leg in front of the other. You just run, are you stupid little kid? You don't do that. You go like, oh wow,
first step.
First step, whoa. And this you should do it to yourself also. You have to create this space of safeness, and you feel safe. So when you are exploring new things, you give yourself the same space as this small child. I feel this is...
But it's a big risk for people, because they start to learn another parts of the soul, and maybe their relatives, maybe their friends can be afraid of their changes. What to do then?
What to do? That is also one of the things that really comes up when you try to change, try to go into the deeper change.
Not everyone will follow you in this journey.
Not at all. But I like
How
to see
to not be scary?
I remind myself and also give people advice. I like them to remind themselves of reminding. When we came to this earth, we took a big inhale. And when we will go away from this world, we will take a deep exhale. What do you want to do in between? Try to go deep into this. What do you want to express and go in between? Do you want to let what other people say stop you from really expressing? Will you think about what other people will think, say about your changes, stop you from this amazing life that is waiting for you every day? Really? Let's put this into a perspective, and you will really easily see that this is not worth it. Yes, I know, because I've been there myself. I was thinking about what will my what will happen? But then I ask myself, like, is it really worth it? Is it worth to having a girlfriend if I'm not happy? No, I don't want to be unhappy and put my unhappiness to my girlfriend at all. So what should I do to create that happiness?
So you want to say that the problems in a relationship is a mark? It's a sign that you have not enough love to yourself? It's a sign. Look inside of your heart. What is happening there? It's actually problems not in the relationship, it's problems with you.
Yeah, it's always like that, and as human beings we forget that. I think it's part of the journey of learning, really learning about yourself, and also how a relationship works, and also these traps that are mental traps, I like to say, because just like you see my fingers there, I'm pointing at you. I like to say that, but at the same time it's 3 fingers pointing at me, and it's hard to think about it all the time. So let's say I'm saying this is the problem, but then I look at my fingers, I say no, here's the problem. So I have to change the perspective of my mind. It's not that I have to change you. In a relationship, when you try to change the other person, where it will go. It will go really bad. So you start by being a true spiritual warrior. I like to say that. A true spiritual warrior takes full responsibility. So I feel like with the question we had, first thing, create a safe space where you can grow, play, express and heal, and then go in, take full responsibility. Stop blaming, even if it's not your fault.
It's hard job.
That's the hardest job, but self-love practice will be much more harder. And how to become less angry or less frustrated, you have to disconnect the bond from this thing that are making your whole life be so focused on one thing, when this beautiful life is just waiting for you, you know, to realize there's so many things to explore, you know. So I also said to myself when I worked with the depression, and when I felt I cured myself from it, I found out the only reason I was depressed was I was thinking I already discovered everything. And that's...
Nothing makes me happy.
Oh.
I know everything in this life, so what else? Nothing
what else? So I have to just surrender. And when I also went into know nothing, I don't know anything. It made me happy, you know. In the beginning I was thinking this is a depressing message. You don't know anything. But it was quite...
But it makes you feel like you're a child, because if you don't know anything, you have so much to learn. So what we gonna summarize? People need to learn how to love themselves. Yeah, find space for themselves to start with their body. Yeah, and also I want to say that they need some people who can hold their hand in their journey. Some environment. Yeah, some people, some teachers, some yoga teacher, or different. So they need to build their own society that keeps them in the shape to go forward, not to go back. Yeah, I think it's very important.
Creating the safe space, you know, as the child we talked about, and also taking full responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, and also reaching out and finding a person you can reach out to that have been walking this journey before you. I feel that can be a really good start. So you know who to talk about when you feel lost, when you don't have the answer for the question you are coming up to, or this challenge. You can ask another person that already maybe done it, or maybe having more knowledge for now. So I feel, and on this whole thing, try to, so good as possible, to show yourself so much self-love, you know, because this journey not gonna be just pleasant. It's not gonna be just light. It can be light and dark, and cry and smile and laughter and cry again and everything at the same time. But in the end, when you realize there is no end.
There is no end of our talk as well.
There is no end at all. It just continues into something else.
Because it's always changing.
Then you get rid of this fear, you know, this fear of not knowing, fear of not controlling, fear of not letting go, you know, this fear, you know. This is my main thing of people practice something that gets rid of this fear, and everything will just show itself.
What is the purpose of your life?
Purpose in my life?
Yeah.
This is a question I'm still answering somehow. So many times I try to put an end question on answer on this one, but still I'm feeling I'm expressing it out, and I feel because I don't have any words to express it, so I've tried to express it through my work, through the work with the sound healing, through the work with the meditation, with the yoga, and the energetical work of sharing. So I feel this is somehow an expression of my purpose.
Let's call it awakening.
Yeah, awakening, you can call it that. It's a nice word, yeah.
Yeah,
awakening.
It's a path. So the sense of the life is a path of awakening. Sounds good. Yeah.
I like it.
And you know, I'm listening to you, and I know your profile, human design, the person who is helping people in crisis situations. And you have an open throat. It means you talk when it's some questions, and you're open to talk, to discover together if there is a questions. So, and I see in you huge potential. Of course, I have projections that you say, you know, you will help in crisis, and it's really you and what you're doing. I think it's very much in your profile.
Thank you.
So, and I enjoy very much with you.
Thank you.
Because we are all generators, and what is the question of our life is who you are. So this was what we are starting from, because it's also my question of my life, and I think together when we discuss in our environment, we feel relief. Which is important to understand that you're not alone, that ask the same question. And now I think all of us are waiting for the sound healing short gift from you that makes us relief, calm and peace, and send, like you said, inhale love and exhale pain. So let's do it.
The sounds comes into our mind, into our body, just allowing it and inviting it to just purify so we can put the whole world on pause. Just go deep inside, allowing our mind to find the calmness, the restless, and the peace inside. thank you for inviting me to answer so many beautiful questions. That also made me go deep inside to share some of my experiences. So
Thank you for sharing.